Hello, everyone, and a very, very good morning to all of you. I am Maha Salman, the team leader of Professionalization of Evaluation for Asia Pacific Evaluation Association. And on behalf of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, I welcome you all to the Brown Bag series on professionalization of evaluation. Today is our seventh session, and I am very proud that we have been running this series for the last 7 months. We've had great speakers coming in from around the world, and we've learned so much together. Just very quickly, the objectives of the Brown Bag series, the idea behind is to quickly follow up with BOBEs, EY chapters, parliamentarians, and members of the evaluation community in the region about the progress they've made on the commitments and evaluation goals pertinent to the professionalization theme. In these sessions, we set goals, we get feedback on the work we're doing, we learn from each other's experience, we talk about the professionalization products, and we explore opportunities to collaborate. Today is our seventh session, and I am really, really excited that today we have with us evaluation friends from Philippines. The great presenters today we have with us are Maria Ana Valido. She's the Vice President, Philippine Evaluators for Development. And along with her, we have Dorothy May, and she's the co-leader of EvalYouth Philippines. Thank you so much for joining in. Hi, Maria. Hi, May. How are you both? So now it's great to have you both. Thank you for accepting our invitation and speaking on behalf of Philippines. So now I am going to hand over the floor to both of you. Today is our seventh session, and the topic today is professionalization of evaluation, challenges, lessons learned, and way forward in Philippines. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hello. Morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, APEA, for fostering discussions on professionalizing evaluation through this Brown Bag series. Congratulations, we're now on its seventh series. It's a good way indeed to select a country appropriate path toward professionalization. At the moment, Philippine government's pathway is sustaining its M&E mainstreaming efforts, evident in national policies and in the hierarchy of plans and strategies prepared at the national and local levels. For example, I'm talking about the mandates of the National Economic Development Authority, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and other government agencies. So we have also the bottom and bottom-up approaches in formulating plans and strategies incorporating M&E as means to measure impacts of interventions, mostly from government. So we now on my slide number six, there are a few challenges faced by evaluators as a practitioner when managing evaluation as a process. So government is sometimes not generous, or often fall short in its attempt to provide deeper analysis of its findings when measuring impacts of its intervention. So when they expand the life of the programs or adding program components to existing programs, they are sometimes not informed by evaluation studies. So this is one of the challenges in Philippine of evaluation. Unfortunately, even new policies or policy change have not been informed by evaluation studies or results. So in slide 7, please. Professionalization in the Philippines is both strengthening and professionalizing. So that's how evaluation is being practiced. And the Philippine Evaluators for Development, or PHILDEV for short, continues to continues to strengthen its members by providing support. For example, PHILDEV provides educational materials and also provide information on capacity building events provided by the network of VOPs. So PHILDEV works its way by encouraging its members to take active role in evaluation. The next slide, please. So Philippines through PhilDev also and network of VOPs would be able to provide a holistic strategy to capacitate and strengthen practitioners, institutions, and systems to address the challenges. So this process will likely be iterative. We recognize in the Philippines, we should strengthen stakeholder engagement and try harder to discover those missing links, ensure evaluation processes and systems become a culture, not just an occasional practice. So having a clear path, becoming professional evaluator in the Philippines should be a milestone to look forward to. So as an evaluation and planning practitioner, this is how I define professionalization of evaluation in the Philippines. How about you? So this ends my presentation.
Thank you, Maria. May, let's hear it from you.
Hi, good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Let me just start by sharing the story of my journey as an evaluator. I call myself a late bloomer in the evaluation field, if there's something like that, having only started in my mid-30s after being a development professional for about 10 years before I got interested in evaluations. And I was inspired by the work of the evaluator international evaluator who did the evaluation of the project that I was helping implement at that time. When the project ended, I tried looking for academic or training courses on evaluations in the Philippines. Unfortunately, there was none that I could find at that time. But fortunately, I was selected to be part of the global mentoring program. It was, I think, the pilot program of the EvalYouth global network at that time, and was introduced formally to the world of evaluation. And so I really got interested through that. And at the same time, I also tried applying for evaluation consultancy projects and basically learned by doing. But I knew that I still needed to develop my competencies in evaluation so I can be more effective in doing my job. And since I could not find any academic programs in the Philippines, I ventured out abroad and was lucky to have gotten a scholarship to pursue an advanced master's in development evaluation and management from the Institute of Development Policy in Belgium. And I was also lucky to have been given an opportunity as well to attend the IPTET this year. But not all aspiring evaluation professionals or M&E professionals in the Philippines are provided these opportunities to develop their competencies, knowledge, and skills in evaluations. And that's where I wanted to start my discussion. From my perspective, as a not so young but emerging evaluator here in the Philippines, I'll just highlight four major challenges and reflections that I see in addition to what Anna has already mentioned. Can you move to the next slide, Maha? So from my story, you can already see that one of the main hurdles to professionalizing evaluation in the Philippines is the limited or maybe a lack of academic and training, professional training options, in particularly on evaluations. I know that there are like courses that are sometimes embedded in programs for undergraduate or master's classes, but there is really no like full-blown master's program or even a postgraduate degree program that's particularly focused on monitoring and evaluation in particular. Second to that, for young professionals who are in the M&E field here in the Philippines, work still mostly focuses on the monitoring side rather than the evaluation side. And if they are involved in evaluations, it's mostly managing consultants. So there's really a limited opportunity to take part in the actual conduct of evaluation. So there's no opportunity to practice if they have learned something in the conduct of evaluations. Third, there is also limited avenue for young and emerging evaluators or YEEs to actively engage in activities and initiatives and network with other evaluators, both experts and fellow young and emerging evaluators. So most of the activities that I have been involved with are at the regional level through EvalYouth Asia and at the APEA. And I'm happy when I see, fellow aspiring young evaluators and many practitioners joining the regional initiatives such as the winter school for YEEs or the policy evaluation fall school. But I wish there would be more of these activities at the national level. And this is something that maybe we can develop in the coming years. And at the macro level, although the practice of evaluation in the public sector in the Philippines is growing, I think it still has a long way to go in engendering the evaluative culture in the country. I'm currently part of the Central Evaluation Unit at NEDA, although it is only an interim unit at the moment. But slowly, I'm seeing some progress towards achieving this goal. But I believe, if YEs are given the opportunity as well to take part in these types of initiatives to engender evaluative culture in the Philippines, we will be able to contribute greatly in making this happen. So way forward, I have 4 main recommendations moving forward. First, we currently have bills filed in both Congress and Senate to establish the national evaluation policy. I think I see here Sir June from CBBRD, and we really need to advocate for this. Having national evaluation policy and guidelines that go along with it will help institutionalize and standardize the practice of evaluation and really spur the demand and supply of quality evaluations and evaluators in the country. And along with that, there is a need to beef up the competencies, both at the demand side and supply side of evaluators. So maybe developing a competency framework for evaluation that sets the standard for competencies for evaluators will ensure that personnel and evaluators will have the required knowledge and skills to perform and deliver quality evaluations for the country to develop and improve our development interventions. So alongside this, if we have a policy, a competency framework, and the national capacity development plan for evaluation will also be helpful in really pushing for that goal. So if we have a national capacity development plan, we'll have to develop academic courses and professional training programs to really hone the competencies of our future evaluators who will be managing or conducting the evaluations. And lastly, I think it would also help if we have an evaluation community of practice in the Philippines that's also welcoming of YEEs and will provide opportunities for the young people who want to enter practice and hone their skills, not only in M&E in general, but in evaluation in particular. So yeah, thank you, Maha.
Thank you both. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, May. Both shared some great, insights about Philippines and the context. And of course, in with this brown bag series, we've seen how there's some countries that are doing a lot of work. Some are in the learning stage, but it's about creating a movement. And I'm so proud that we're all doing that and we're all contributing towards that movement. So we can move ahead to Q&A sessions. I've got some questions for both of you. So while we wait for the audience to post some questions, I'll start. And my first question is to Maria. So Maria, you spoke about the collaboration bit, right? How WOPEs and EvalYouth networks and other bodies should collaborate and learn from each other, provide resources to each other. So in terms of this collaboration, what do you think, how we can make this partnership more strong, strengthen it, so that both the WOPE as well as the evaluation network can benefit from each other?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that's the focus of my presentation earlier. It's about collaboration and increasing our engagement with partners. I think I can speak about my this. I'm an urban planner. I'm currently the national president of the Philippine Institute of Environmental Planners. As planners, we believe that M&E is an important component of our practice. So we try to infuse evaluation work with planning. I believe that it is very important to have a strong connection or strong connection between the interventions and the pathways of change that we are trying to create. For example, in our theory of change, because some of legislators and also local chief executives or the mayors, governors, would not really mind looking into how interventions should be proposed. So it would be good for evaluators to provide guidance to decision makers and legislators. So like we have parliamentarians all over the world. So this is really a good way forward for the Philippines.
That is great. May, there's a question for you by Tashi. As young and emerging evaluator, co-leader, how do you manage to rope in YEs to be members and encourage them to contribute and continue being members with EvalYouth?
Thanks, Tashi. And to be honest, getting members is still one of the main challenges for us at EvalYouth Philippines. And we have developed a couple of strategies to really look for members, but I think we still have a long way to go. And I think one of the key things that we need to do is really finding partners who can also help us reel in YEs and other aspiring M&E professionals to be part of the EvalYouth in the Philippines. So that's still being worked out at the moment, and I don't have really a straightforward answer to how are you able to encourage them. So for now, with the network that we have, we share opportunities at the regional level, because that's where we have current opportunities for YEs to participate in. But hopefully in the coming months, we'll have developed local at the national level, local opportunities for YEs to be involved as well.
So there's another question. This one's by Carlos. Hi, Carlos. You've been a regular attendee in our webinars. So the question is, how is the evaluation demand from the government in Philippines? So maybe Maria or Maria, you.
Probably I can answer that. So we're talking about the demand of this profession in the Philippines. I think it's really it would depend on the practitioner, or depend on, for example, myself. I think I would be able to influence planners in the environmental planners in the Philippines to have appreciate the value of evaluation in planning, because it will depend on the planners how they would be able to promote evaluation, and how evaluation would be able to strengthen the planning work. So it's something like that sometimes people would look at evaluation as something like the smallest and always at the tail of the plan or policy, the M&E aspect. But as a planning practitioner, I would always advocate that evaluation uh, it's a crucial role in any endeavor. Like when the national level, they formulate medium term development plans or development frameworks, physical framework plans, etc. There are a lot of plans in the Philippines. It could be like 100, over 100 plans. So evaluation should be looked or should be regarded as important component and not as something supplemental. Um, so it will depend on the evaluator how to promote it. So it will demand will also increase as people would be able to appreciate and understand the value of evaluation. So for example, we have PHILDEV members should be able to influence and not just wait. So it's a matter of being proactive as an evaluator to increase demand. So it's a lot of strategies over there whereby evaluators would be able to increase demand also.
Can I also add? I think for the Philippine government, most of the evaluations being done is mostly compliance based. So there is no like a national evaluation agenda that really dictates which policies, programs, and projects need to be evaluated at this, for example, for the current administration. So each government agency has its own evaluation agenda and demand. So for my organization, for example, at NEDA, we also have our own list of policies, programs, and projects that are in line for evaluation. But there's not like a general a national agenda that's being followed at the moment. So it depends on the need of the agency.
There's another question for you, May, somewhat linked to this one. Who are the main partners? Is it government institution or civil society organizations? Definitely, you
Mostly
mentioned about government, but
not government yet, but CSOs, NGOs have been we've initially started to reach out to NGOs and CSOs to be our partners. Hopefully in the future we can also tap government support for our activities.
So there's another question. It's by Salman Khwaja. Hi, Salman. What lobbying and advocacy efforts did you practice to influence the legislators or the decision makers? What were the challenges and how much time and energy did YE invested in that? So there are two parts of the questions. You both, I think, can, I believe, contribute. Maria, you can speak from a generalist perspective about advocacy and lobbying, and maybe you can add the YE perspective to it.
Yeah. In terms of lobbying and influencing policies, a few days ago I joined this like a House Senate hearing, and I advocated by leading the Philippine Institute of Environmental Planners, and including evaluation as one of the strategies, and emphasizing that it should inform each time a new policy or a policy change would take place. So it's a matter of taking leadership. It's not really easy, but for myself, I take leadership in my organization to always accompany my planning practice with evaluation. So you don't separate evaluation from other professions like engineering, architecture. In my case, I'm also a civil engineer and urban planner. So I really bring evaluation in all my advocacies, in all my presentations, and making sure people are understanding and thinking deeply about evaluation as an important component of everything we do. Like for example, the proposition of a new policy on sustainable cities and communities. So I think I was able to emphasize and highlight evaluation as an important component and making sure that it should inform all policies and it should inform also plans and strategies in the future. So that's on the side of the legislation. So I think evaluation has a high demand in the future as long as we take leadership in um, in promoting evaluations as a as, um, as an important development component and as a means to measure impacts. And also there are a lot of types of evaluation. We have summative, we have formative. So it means that evaluation would occur in all parts of planning, in all parts of development stages of each program and project. So key leadership is one of the strategies that I would be able to share to everyone.
Salman, just a clarification, you're talking about like lobbying for the national evaluation policy?
Salman, you can unmute your mic and maybe clarify your question. And by the way, this is for everyone. We're having a conversation, so you feel free to unmute your mic and speak directly to the speaker.
So if you're talking about the national evaluation policy, I have not been involved much in lobbying and advocating for that, but the CPBRD, whose Director General is here with us, 3rd June, the Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department, and the Senate Economic Planning Office have been pushing for the national evaluation policy with the support of UNICEF, and I think they've been really actively pushing for that. And I know that we have Sir June has mentioned in one of our meetings that the national evaluation bills have been refiled in both Congress and Senate right now. So we hope that like more institutions and more people would be rallying to pass that bill as soon as possible.
Thank you, May. So there's another question by Carlos. Carlos, if you would like to unmute your mic and maybe ask it directly to the speakers, that would be great.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is very simple. Maybe have you had the experience in Philippines to approach any UN agency and probably to propose, to establish, or to promote a specific mechanism for promoting evaluation professionalization? Did you have that kind of experience? If yes, what were the results? Or if not, if you didn't do that, is possible to do that for you, for your organizations? Thank you.
I can start first. For now, the NEDA has a partnership with the UNDP here in the Philippines, and one of the outputs of that is a research on the competency. It's coming up with a competency assessment tool to help in assessing, evaluating the competencies in evaluation and M&E in general for the public sector personnel in the Philippines. And alongside that, there was competency framework that was drafted to really support the capacity development of public sector personnel here in the Philippines. But that is still in a draft format, and we hope that it could there could be talks with the Civil Service Commission here in the Philippines to really establish the standard competency framework in order for evaluation and M&E and evaluation competencies to be standardized, at least in the public sector in the Philippines. So yes, there has been efforts to partner with UNDP to establish professional competency framework and a competency assessment tool to help in pushing for that agenda.
Yeah, I can also answer that. Regarding results, I have not measured yet. However, as I mentioned earlier, I'm taking leadership in influencing the plans, and also because I have most of my clients are with governments, so both national and local governments. So I try to make sure that they're not just using linear, evaluation tools that just express or demonstrate a linear of analysis as a result of evaluation, but making sure that my clients would think deeper than that. Like for example, I advocate a lot about using theory of change so that they would appreciate the value for money for each investment that they make. For example, the local governments that I advise. So yeah, I think results. As to results, it could be like at the understanding level, increasing understanding and appreciation. So that's the level that I have seen so far. But as to using the tools, I think my clients need more capacity building efforts, and not only from my end, especially from BOPs, and also a network of practitioners in the Philippines and overseas. So yeah, I cannot speak much about the results yet, but we'll try to come back again later to make sure I've documented the results that I've produced out of my advocacy efforts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you so much, May. And I was just looking at the clock, and it's time to wrap up this session. So this was a really, really great session with so many interesting questions and with some great answers. And this time around, we swapped. We did 10 minutes of presentation and 20 minutes of question and answer session, which was great. It's a good format for us also, because this was really interactive. So again, thank you everyone in the audience for posting such great questions. This was a good learning experience for us as well. With this, we come to the end of our 7th session. We'll see you next month, last Friday, as always, and that is going to be our last session for the year. We're going to wrap up Brown Bag series with that. So again, thank you for all the love and support, and for always joining, for always contributing, participating. Thank you to our speakers for accepting our invitation and presenting and making us hear about Philippines and the context. So take good care of yourselves and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.